With the Oddworld Inhabitants official Instagram account proving to be a valuable source of footage and dialogue of Oddworld Soulstorm, I decided to actually, scroll down on it and take a look to see if there's anything else of interest in there. Because I don't do that normally. I don't use this social media or rubbish, and I never have done. I absolutely despise it. But I noticed that actually there were a couple of clips that Oddworld Inhabitants had put up that showed footage that I don't think was in the, this first one, which is silent, I think is an extended piece of footage from a clip from a PS5 trailer. It appears to be at Stranger's Wrath Last Legs, like mining sort of area. So I just thought I'd include that as well. But then here's something even more interesting, because they released some gameplay footage that hasn't been seen before as far as I'm aware, that wasn't in the trailer, and it has sound. And not only does it show, Abe rolling away from a couple flying sligs and all that, but it also has the Rupture Farms blimp in the background firing rockets or whatever at Abe. So more gameplay footage of that as well, the blimp. That I think will be quite an important element in terms of the gameplay, probably in some places anyway. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this aspect of it, even though it's seen in this area in the trailer as well, but it is interesting to note that the blimp appears here in this area. So it's not just the desert place, which means, as you'd expect, the blimp travels about, as blimps tend to do. But it also means, or seems to indicate at least, that it's not just a short part of the game, this whole blimp trying to kill you or whatever. Like, this blimp seems to be travelling about, pursuing Abe, potentially through multiple places, which is, I think, a really interesting element of Oddworld Soulstorm. But it backs up the theory that I have that the blimp is a constant presence in the game or whatever. Meanwhile, it's interesting to note that the frickin' flying sligs have rocket launchers as well. When one spots Abe, he fires a rocket at him. Well, that's a new one to add to the already increasing arsenal of the flying sligs. They're really going all out in this one. Also, I think starting with New and Tasty, the gameplay sligs' voices become more higher pitched, and I think they seem to have maintained this with Oddworld Soulstorm. Or maybe it just sounds different to me for some reson, but I personally prefer the way the sligs sounded in the first 3 games or so.
What?
It's interesting to note though that the pilot slig seems to have a voice that's more like how I'm used to hearing a slig sounding, so he sounds alright.
It sounds idiotic, but that's exactly what it looks like.
It just seems to be the sligs in the gameplay, I think. But then again, we haven't heard much from them, so it's hard to tell. But I guess it ultimately doesn't really matter all that much, to be honest. Also, it's great to see Abe rolling. So it's a very good sign that Oddworld Inhabitants are feeling like they can show more and more of their game to us. And it'll be great to finally get a release date so we can play Oddworld Soulstorm.
Hello, follow me.